They wanted some relief. It wasn't so much the highs and the lows of a roller coaster. It was more like dragging a heavy sack of struggle around with them. And for others, it's like a dark shadow that has come over them, engulfing them, creeping with unending persistence over the little light that they might have within them. How would you describe emotional pain? It's different from physical pain. Like, you can tell a doctor that you have pain in your right leg and they can offer you medical suggestions, physiotherapy, exercises, medication. But what exercise can heal a broken heart? What medication can resolve anger and resentment simmering in your soul? There is physical pain and there is emotional pain. And so often I've found that they kind of intertwine themselves, where one feeds the other. My back pain can resource my feelings of misery. And in Proverbs 17 it says that a merry heart can be like a medicine to the body. Have you ever noticed the intertwining between body and soul? Like, I remember Christmas Day, and as a child, and it was a 2.5 hour drive between my childhood home and my grandparents' home. 2.5 hours of monotony and boredom. This is back in the 60s, 70s. Weaving around corners and up and over hills, passing through towns. I'd look out and I'd see children playing on new bikes they had got that morning. Grown. My new red bike was back at home. I had snatched a look, had a smell of that new bike. It's got that new bike smell. And then we're in the car for that long drive, and I watched all those other children with envy. My grandparents' home was not my home. It was nice to see them, get slightly spoiled, and experience life in another home different to my own, but it was not my home. Grown! But in a couple of days, we were back in that old Morris Marina. Ever been in the Morris Marina? And on the road for another 2.5 hours. And there was a quiet excitement and hope to return home. Home, that's where I belong to be. Or as Bono would sing, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. What is emotional pain? I think emotional pain is rooted in that experience of not being there yet. All those feelings of anger, grief, loss, sadness, loneliness, all have a smell of knowing that this isn't what we were meant for. We were created for something we have never fully experienced, a garden of intimacy, delight, joy, peace. And I still get wafts of it in the relationships I have. I also still see in this creative glory box that God has made for me. At the moment I'm looking outside my window and I'm seeing trees and plants and flowers, and it's beautiful. But also I know that creation, like myself, groans for what once was. And Romans 8 says that we know that the whole creation has been groaning together as it suffers together the pains of labour. And not only the creation, but we ourselves, we have a groan. That emotional pain is the groan. I know something better. It's unconscious, but I'm not there yet. There's also groaning for what will be. Revelation 21 says, He, God, will wipe every tear from their eyes. Death will be no more. Mourning and crying and pain will be no more. For the first things have passed away. I long for a fullness of presence like a deer pants for water when the sun is beating down hard. I think there's a kind of archetype in all of us. What's an archetype? Well, in Jungian theory, it's a primitive mental image inherited from the earliest human ancestors, and it's supposed to be present in the collective unconscious. That's the Oxford definition. It's like it's a simple thread of knowing that has been passed on from generations to generations to generations, deeply unconscious to my awareness, that I still long for something of another world. Like, it's a bit like this. I often wonder why people go, oh, and they see something in nature, like a beautiful mountain or river, and all of them go, oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? Something unconsciously, deep within us, every human being notices that and there's a pull towards that beauty. A machine wouldn't do that. A machine just machine. Yeah. But no, this is something deep, an archetype within us. C.S. Lewis says that if we find ourselves with a desire that nothing in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that we were made for another world. C.S. Lewis. So what do we do with the emotional pain? The most common medication is self-comfort. We self-soothe, sometimes to the point of addiction. And the obvious addictions are drugs, alcohol, pornography, sex, gambling, shopping, gaming, eating. But the not so obvious are different. How about demanding control, religious observance, success, however you might define that, hobbies. But in every self-soothing effort I have tried, it feels like there's this bungee cord wrapped around me and like one of those huge rubber bands that wants to pull me back to something even better, something that I can't be in control of. Look, I'm not against self-soothing. I think it's important to have some practices that bring comfort to the pain of living in the state of not there yet. But self-soothing must always bring me closer in a relationship to the one I'm going to spend eternity with. And that bungee cord pulls me back to God. Boom. And maybe a few safe others that will listen to my compassion. Listen with compassion to my groans. They won't fazz me. They won't try and fix me, advise me, save me, or set me straight. Instead, there'll be a warm, embracing community. For the struggler in the valley of emotional pain, they simply want to be heard. They don't want criticism or burdens added. And after being listened to well, the most common response is, thank you, that helped. It may not take away the emotional pain away. Instead, it simply says that you're not alone. Here's some quotes. Acceptance is not our mode nearly as much as aggression, resistance, fight, or flight. None of them achieve the deep, lasting results of true acceptance and peaceful surrender. Richard Rohr. You cannot hear what you do not first acknowledge. Richard Rohr. Emotional pain always results when life's experiences go beyond the answers we already have. Dig deeper for more wisdom or go on hurting. David Riddell. Those who do not turn to face their pain are prone to impose it. Terence Real. Redeemed pain is more impressive to me than removed pain. Philip Yancey. And this next part is a song lyrics. So here it is. Home is where I want to be. Pick me up and turn me round. I feel numb, burned with a weak heart. I guess I must be having fun. The less we say about it, the better. Make it up as we go along. Feet on the ground, head in the sky. It's okay, I know nothing's wrong. Nothing. Hi-yo, I got plenty of time. Hi-yo, you got light in your eyes. You're standing here beside me. I love the passing of time. Never for money, always for love. Cover up and say goodnight. Say goodnight. Home is where I want to be. But I guess I'm already there. I come home, she lifted up her wings. Guess that this must be the place. I can't tell one from another. Did I find you or you find me? There was a time before we were born. If someone asks, this is where I'll be. Where I'll be. Hi-yo, we drift in and out. Hi-yo, sing into my mouth. Out of all those kinds of people, you got a face with a view. I'm just an animal looking for a home. Share the same space for a minute or two. And you love me till my heart stops. Love me till I'm dead. Eyes that light up, eyes that look through you. Cover up the blank spots. Hit me on the head. Ooh. Okay, so the version of I put a link to Sean Colville, and it's a YouTube clip. It's a beautiful song. Question number 1. Can you think of an experience where you sensed you were not there yet? Number 2, what would home feel like for you? Number 3, who has offered to you that sense of deep listening? Hey, I pray that you would find a sense of home where you feel heard and listened to and loved and held and known. Perhaps you may want to send me an email, that'd be great, or leave a comment. And I love to hear from my readers and listeners and viewers. It really encourages me. And if you want to be part of what I'm doing and support a little bit financially, there's a link in the show notes on how to give to Turning the Page. Until then, I pray that you would know some experience of God meeting you in your emotional pain. Okay, bye.